Hey everyone. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you're relaxing. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. If you like making money, if you like investing in undervalued commodities or the undervalued sectors, this channel's for you. Click subscribe, join our community, ride this bull market up with all of us. It's a lot of fun. Leave comments below if you guys have any comments on anything or questions. I can do videos, respond to them. In this video, I know a lot of people want to go over companies, ticker symbols, companies. I somewhat go into the fundamentals. I don't dive super deep into some of them. The fundamentals look pretty bad and pretty harsh at bottoms, and a lot of these companies are losing a lot of money. So if you dive into some of the fundamentals, they look pretty bad at bottoms, and most people, they usually sell the companies and avoid them. And here I come in with some money, diving in the bottom of the bucket of companies that are sold 99% off their all-time highs, and I spread it out and try to catch a bottom. And these companies typically have a lot of debt. So I'm going to go over in an Excel spreadsheet here some of the oil companies that I own. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to buy this. I'm just going into what I somewhat look at this stuff. I rely very heavily on technical analysis at bottoms because I have to see what people are doing and what they're buying. I got to see volume. I got to see people buying the company because that's really what's going to determine if a company goes under or not. Obviously they've got debt and then they've got debt payments, but it helps if people are backstopping you and buying the stock. So I'm going to go over these companies here. We've got Chevron, which is, so the way I have got this, I've got the company name on the left-hand side, the ticker symbol, the market cap. I've got the reserves of their oil and or natural gas, the reds in natural gas. We've got the debt, and then we have the value. The value is the debt plus the market cap divided by the reserves. Lower the value, you could say that's better to a certain extent. But there's also exploration potential that's not really seen in this. So there is some other things that are kind of hidden behind, and we don't necessarily, I didn't break out the break-even costs to produce. And obviously the commodity is so volatile that you're not really going to know what their margins are because the commodity price is moving up so rapidly. And the margins move up rapidly if you're in a high-cost, high-debt producer. So the ones that I've got here, CVX, I don't own CVX. I'm just showing Chevron for an example with a gigantic market cap and the value of 0.1. We've got Suncor, a value of 0.86. I do own this company here. It does have some debt, quite a bit of debt, but it also has a lot of reserves. Diamondback Energy is the one that bought out QEP, so I included that. It is a big company, a 14 billion market cap. It does have 1,316 million barrels. Debt isn't too bad, and it's a value of 15.08. So it's not super undervalued, I would say. It's more richly valued. Antero Resources and Southwestern Energy, I like both of those. They're comparatively valued. They do have some debt, especially in comparison to their market cap, so lots of debt, but they're high leverage to the price of natural gas. Those are two natural gas companies. SM Energy, it's a 1.9 billion market cap. I bought it for 180 million market cap. That's what I remember. We've got 462 million barrels of oil reserves, and the debt is big. Their debt exceeds their market cap right now, and the value is 9.35. So that's decent. It looks like Callan's very well. Callan, Centennial Development, and SM are all valued quite similarly. And they also have very close debt to market caps. They're very close. I mean, Callan's got a little bit more debt, but it also has quite a little bit more reserves. So these are all, I would say, very similar in size, in debt, and potential, and even in value. Contango is a little bit more richly valued. They do have a lot less oil, and then they're at 868 million market cap. But they also have a good potential to grow their reserves. So they're they're undergoing a lot of consolidation and buying of companies. So Contango Oil and Gas, I think if they can prove up the reserves, that they can add a lot of value. And I think that's why they're so richly, not super rich, but it's a little bit more than the other companies in terms of pricing. Birchcliff is actually a very good buy right here. 2.73. They've got a lot of debt. It's double their market cap, but they do have a lot of reserves. So this one's a good one to look into is Birchcliff Energy. I own that one. Africa Oil Corp. They've got a little bit less in terms of million barrels of oil. They do have a little bit of debt, but that's not too much. A little bit more richly valued, but they also could have potential upside. Grand Tierra Energy, 300 million market cap, pretty small company. They do have 80 million barrels of oil, so this is a pretty good value. 775 million in debt, so it's got a lot of debt. Contango doesn't have debt. Value is quite richly barreled, or is a little bit more rich. Looks like I put this one in the wrong spot here. And yeah, so that's Grand Tierra there. A little bit on the rich side. Athabasca Oil, this guy's dirt cheap. We got a lot of debt in comparison to its market cap. Remember, these market caps got beaten down quite a bit. So there's a lot of upside if oil moves up, a lot of upside. They've got 508 million barrels of oil equivalent. I think it's a heavy oil type deal here. So I think that one's pretty good, and I own that. We've got Crew Energy, 133 million market cap. This is a lot smaller company. It's got 67 million barrels of oil equivalent. That's pretty good for a company of 133 million market cap. They do have a lot of debt at 353 million. So it is highly leveraged to the price of oil and natural gas. Very highly leveraged. The value is 7.24, so not too bad. It's on the cheaper side. And then I've got Reconnaissance Energy Africa, which is an exploration company. They have 100 billion barrels possible. The possibility is so large. I just threw some money in there for an exploration. Hopefully they find something and hit something big. So I wanted to cover that. I know some people they want to see kind of the companies I hold. These are the companies that I hold. I own all those. I think I may even hold one or two more. I wasn't thinking of looking at my portfolio. I was just kind of doing them off the top of my head and doing all the research. So that is the majority of the ones I own. I think I have a couple more maybe if I think about it. Hopefully this helps you guys. That's what I own. You can see I've got some energy service companies as well. I have RIG, TTI, DXPE. There may be a couple more. Just trying to think off the top of my head. So I own some energy service companies. Obviously, they're not here, and we don't value them the same way. So hopefully this helps you with your research. You can look at these companies. Go ahead and research them. Put in the comment section other companies that you guys like. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.